Mukachevo, Western Ukraine, a city that rarely made headlines, is now at the center of global attention. Here, an American-owned electronics factory lies in ruins after a massive Russian airstrike. The facility is destroyed. Several workers are injured, and the world is asking, why was this factory targeted? How was the attack carried out? And why does NATO appear to be standing by? The Flex-Retaliation plant in Mukachevo. Officially, it's known as a producer of electronic components. But to the Kremlin, this facility represented something far more significant. For years, it has been part of a technological network supporting Ukraine. Many analysts believe that while Flex produced civilian electronics, it also supplied critical components for Ukraine's defense effort: communications modules, drone sensors, and systems compatible with Western military technology. For Moscow, taking it out served two clear purposes. First, to weaken Ukraine's defense industry by crippling part of its supply chain. Second, to send a pointed message to the United States and its allies. A message that says, your investments in Ukraine are not safe, not even in the places you consider untouchable. And there's another layer. This strike came shortly after Ukraine hit a major oil refinery in Novoshakhtinsk, southern Russia, a critical blow to Moscow's energy infrastructure. Mukachevo, in the Kremlin's eyes, was retaliation, a calculated one, a statement that declared, "You strike our assets, we'll strike yours." The assault began at night, under the cover of darkness, when defenses are at their weakest. The first move, distraction. Dozens of Shahed 136 kamikaze drones were launched from southern Russia and Crimea. They flew low, almost silent. One by one, they entered Ukrainian airspace, forcing radars online, draining interceptor missiles, and occupying air defense operators. Then came the main strike. From afar, two 95 ms strategic bombers released Kh-101 and Kh-555 cruise missiles. These missiles flew low, hugging the terrain, evading radar detection. From the Black Sea, warships and submarines added Caliber missiles, striking from another vector entirely. Reports also suggest Iskander ballistic missiles targeted supporting infrastructure near Lviv, cutting logistics and disrupting coordination in western Ukraine. The result was devastating. Around 40 precision-guided missiles hit their marks. The Flex facility was among the primary targets. 3 production hangars were destroyed. Storage warehouses burned for hours. Operations ceased entirely. Dozens were wounded. Some rushed to hospitals. For Ukraine, this was not just the loss of an industrial site. It was a harsh reminder that nowhere is truly safe. Mukachevo was not only a military operation, it was a message. To Ukraine, the message was blunt. We can reach you anywhere. Don't believe you're safe. To the United States, it was provocative. We're willing to hit your investments, and you will not retaliate. To Europe, it was a quiet warning. This war can come to your borders at any time. Official statements from Moscow reinforced that intent. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov declared, "Foreign capital will not protect facilities that support Kyiv's war machine." In other words, anything aiding Ukraine is a legitimate target. This question lingers. Why hasn't NATO done more to prevent such attacks? The answer lies in law and politics. Legally, Ukraine is not a NATO member. Article 5, the principle of collective defense, does not apply. Politically, NATO leaders see direct involvement as too risky. Moscow has repeatedly warned that any direct strike from NATO could trigger extreme retaliation, even the potential use of nuclear weapons. The alliance has opted for indirect support instead, providing air defense systems, interceptors, and intelligence. But those resources are limited. Priority coverage is given to Kyiv and critical energy infrastructure. Areas like Mukachevo, rarely targeted in the past, simply aren't as well defended. Behind all of this lies internal division. The United States, under President Donald Trump, is pushing for negotiated peace rather than escalation. Western European nations like Germany and France fear the economic and energy fallout of a prolonged, intensified war. Eastern European states, Poland and the Baltic countries, are calling for a harder line, but are bound by NATO's consensus-driven decision-making. For Russia, these gaps are opportunities. Opportunities to carry out large-scale strikes without fearing a direct military response from the West. The strike on Mukachevo isn't just about missiles and drones, it's about strategy. It's about sending a message, and it's about testing resolve. As long as Moscow sees no immediate consequences for such actions, strikes like this will continue. Perhaps they will even grow in scale. Mukachevo now stands as a symbol that this war isn't only about who wins on the front lines, but about who can endure the trial of strength, patience, and political will. This content is created solely for educational and informational purposes. It is intended to provide insights based on verified data, credible sources, and careful analysis. Our goal is to foster a deeper understanding of modern military technology and current events, not to promote or endorse any form of conflict, propaganda, or political agenda. We strictly oppose the spread of misinformation and hoaxes. Every piece of information presented has been carefully sourced from reliable, publicly available references. We encourage viewers to approach the topic with critical thinking and respect for all sides involved, maintaining a focus on knowledge sharing and open discussion.